Oh, it's time for the rendered image after dark. What's going on, everybody? My name is Tyler Babb. I am your host. Welcome. If you're new here, this is the show where we talk about movies and movie news, mainly movie news, but we also get nerdy on this channel and we talk about movies and movie news. That's what we're all about here. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I got my water. We're good to go. This show lasts for about an hour, so yeah, it's very exciting. I got a little Easter cookie, so you know what I'm saying? We're just keeping it happy over here. Ahmed is in the chat. What's up, dude? How you doing? If I'm too loud, let me know. If the audio levels are good, let me know. Right before we started, the internet was acting funky and it was kind of dipping in and out, so hopefully the stream goes well. No, dude, my cough has gotten so much better. Like, so much better. So much better. I don't know why I kept going like this. So much better. Cough has gotten a lot better. Let's see. Good evening, Wanda. How you doing? I'm gonna pull, because I'm kind of blind, if you guys don't know. Like, I'm pretty blind. So, yeah. So I got the chat on my phone, and that's how it rolls. Yeah, we got some fun topics today. So a bunch of stuff happened over the week, and it was almost like it's almost too much to cover. So I just kind of picked the stuff that's most interesting to me. Some very interesting, spicy, friendly, awesome neighborhood Spider-Man news dropped this week. I think, well, two pieces of Spider-Man news dropped. Pretty big pieces, and then Michael Keaton news dropped. You know what I'm saying? And then I want to end the show today talking just kind of about filmmaking in general, and particularly what filmmaking means to me and why I love filmmaking. And you guys can join in the chat, and we can talk about other things too. Mortal Kombat is coming out tonight, well, tomorrow technically, or tonight, depending on when you want to watch that. I will probably try to catch that tomorrow and try to get a review up at some point by the weekend, like within the weekend somewhere. But I'm busy because I'm writing Thesis and I'm started to cast Thesis. I'm looking for locations. So I'll give you guys an update on my Thesis project, where that's all headed. And then, yeah, we can just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about today. I'm good to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, today's going to be, there was a ton of news. And like I said, there's almost too much to talk about. And I kind of got a little overwhelmed, and I am doing a lot of other things. So I couldn't, and I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. And so we're going to talk about a lot of Spider-Man, a lot of Batman. I know we talked about Batman last week, but we talked about Robert Pattinson's Batman. And this time there's some other DC news that drops. So either way, how you guys doing? We are up to, what do we got? Five viewers so far? 6 likes. That's awesome. We're almost up to 10 likes. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys for being here. If you're new here, you can drop a like. That really helps out the video and the show, kind of, and lets YouTube know that, like, hey, people enjoy this content and people want to see it. So if that's all you guys could do, if you just drop by, hit a like, it's great. It'd be awesome. What are we saying in the chat here? Tyler says, I love you. However, it's pronounced Emid. Oh, sorry. Emid. Oh, yeah, you're not trying to heckle me. Well, that's good. Hey, Jessica, how you doing? Yeah, I don't know. I knew that's how your name was pronounced. I don't know, Emid. I knew that. I don't know why. Sorry, my bad. No cough this week. I've gotten better. I did have the sickness, but we're all good. It was weird too. I had like a lingering cough for like 2 or 3, almost 3 weeks maybe. So it's crazy, but We're all good. You're Goldwyn. I'm Goldwyn. I like that. I'm Goldwyn. All right. Well, you know what? I think we've, yeah. Oh, dude, we hit 10 likes already. Get out of here, man. This is so awesome. All right. So without further ado, I don't want to waste any time because usually I'm trying to keep this under an hour, but that may happen. That may not happen. So who knows? But let's get right into it. All right. Spider-Man. Let's waste no time because, you know, when you come to the channel and when you come to the rendered image, you're going to talk about, I mean, guys, this is just the reality of the show. Spider-Man No Way Home is hitting theaters in December. We haven't got a trailer yet. They wrapped shooting like a couple weeks ago. So it's just something that's going to, like, as we inch closer to the premiere of the film, it'll be on the show probably like every show. And yeah. And you're going to like see my excitement. And then when we get a trailer, you're going to go, you know, you're going to see me go nuts. But before we get into this, I did want to mention the Shang-Chi trailer dropped this week as well, which I did see. I don't know that much about Shang-Chi, I'm going to be honest, other than obviously the 10 rings. And if you don't know, the 10 rings were set up in the first Iron Man, and the Mandarin is like controls the 10 rings, and the Mandarin is like this big villain in the Marvel comics. He's one of Tony Stark's main adversaries, but they fumbled that a little bit in Iron Man 3. I'm not going to talk, whatever. Iron Man 3 is whatever. If you like Iron Man 3, come in the chat and defend Iron Man 3. I didn't really like Iron Man 3, but whatever. Although I do like Shane Black. I think, what's it called? Oh my goodness. The Nice Guys. If you haven't seen The Nice Guys by Shane Black with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, do yourself a favor and go watch The Nice Guys, because that movie, that's a great movie. That's one of probably, I guess it's a comedy. I would call it kind of like an action comedy, technically. It's one of my favorite action comedies of all time. I think it's awesome. It's a great movie. Not a fan of his Iron Man 3. But anyways, we got off track. I thought the trailer for Shang-Chi was awesome. It seems, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we got some martial arts that we've never seen before in a Marvel movie. And I think that's really cool. They're bringing that. Obviously, the representation is cool. You know what I'm saying? More representation across the board in movies, I think, is a great idea. And yeah, and I think it's a I could be wrong. I could look it up, but it's a fairly new director. I could totally be like, I could totally be making that up. But I think it's a new director. So to come out this strong and like prove yourself, and it's super cool. So the actor that plays Shang-Chi, the latest Predator or whatever. Yeah, like I heard that was bad. My friends went to go see it, but I never saw it because I don't know. Predator's not really my type of film. So I didn't go see it. And my buddies went to go see it, and they came back and they were like, oh yeah, that was really bad. So it didn't look good to me either, but yeah, the 10 rings were in Iron Man 1. Iron Man 3 was horrid. Yeah. But all right, so let's transition. You're probably like, Tyler, let's get on track here. Spider-Man. So there's like two big things that dropped with Spider-Man over the past week. And that is, so Alfred Molina, who was the original Doc Ock from the Sam Raimi trilogy in Spider-Man 2, he came out. He was doing a press junket for one of his other movies that he was promoting, and he came out and basically like spilled the beans. Do you guys ever play that game as a kid? Spill the beans? I don't know why on earth that like came to. Sorry, I'm going to try not to be very random today. I can't make any promises. I've been like super hyper recently. I don't know why. So, but yeah, spill the beans. I kind of enjoyed that game. It's kind of a dumb game, isn't it? You just put the beans in the little thing and then it tips over. I don't know. I don't spill the beans. Trash man, don't waste your time. But either way, yeah, no, I won't see it. So Alfred Molina, stay on track, Tyler. Alfred Molina came out and basically spilled the beans on the fact that he's going to be in the next Spider-Man movie. It had been rumored, it had been highly speculated, and if you kind of know, like, if you pay attention to sources and stuff, like, I believe all the rumors about this movie. The fact that Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, like, are supposedly supposed to be in this movie, I believe that they're in the movie. Do I think they have a big role? No, I don't think they have a big role. I think they're in probably the last act of the movie. I would say, if we're lucky, they're in the last 20 minutes of the movie. If we're lucky, and I hope it's not like, oh, like the last scene of the movie. Like, I'm gonna be really mad. But anyways, Alfred Molina came out and said, yeah, I play Doc Ock in this movie. But not only that, he said that he is, in fact, the same Doc Ock from Sam Raimi's universe. And that he is, like, his introduction in the movie is literally, and again, okay, so spoilers if you haven't, like, sorry, I'm very bad at, like, warning people about spoilers. I should get better at that, but sorry, spoilers. Yeah, but we're gonna get into it. See, to me, like, that, I don't know, it doesn't spoil the movie for me. And this is my my thought process behind that, is because I'm all about, because, like, if you read a script, whatever, you read a script, I'm all about execution. So it's like, I can know bits of information about movies, and it's like, okay, cool, like, that's awesome. But what I don't know is how they're going to execute it. So it's like, all right, fine. Like, all right, all three of them are in the movie. Cool. I want to see how they do it. Like, that's the surprise for me. Not like, oh man, I mean, it would be cool, but I don't know. We just live in the world, unless you don't pay attention to it, but whatever. It personally doesn't bother me, and I hope that it doesn't bother you. But if it does, I understand. But I will continue to cover it on my show, because I like being in the, I like being in the miasma of the Marvel movies and of this some fun stuff. But either way, so he's like, yeah, I'm literally the same Doc Ock, and I literally get pulled out of the river. So if you know, in Spider-Man 2, he falls in the river. And he dies. Sorry, I hit the mic. He dies. Now, and in the article, he's told, I guess the director, John Watts, told Alfred Molina that in this universe, nobody really dies. And I have to agree. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, people come back to life left and right. And that really, for me personally, that kind of lowers the stakes of the universe a lot. I'm just like, it kind of bothered me when he said that particularly. Like, I understand you have multiverses, and you can, if you're gonna go the multiverse route, you're gonna pull people. I get it, that's cool. But, like, if you die, you should stay dead. I don't know. It just lowers the stakes in the universe a little bit. But it is what it is. They're gonna do what they're gonna do, and I'm gonna be there for every single one of them. So, and they know that, and that's fine. But yeah, and then they talked about, like, de-aging him, so they're gonna, like, try, how they did Sam Jackson in Captain Marvel. They're going to de-age him, so it'd be very interesting. And I don't think he's got a big part, to be honest with you. I think his part is pretty small, just because the de-aging technology, that costs a lot of money. It is getting better as time goes on, but it's still vast, crazy expensive. So what do we got? The chat is going crazy. Not really that crazy. I'm just saying that, but it's popping. Ronnie's here. What's up, Ronnie? Says, I feel like it'll be a Flash meets Flash moment, like in Crisis on CW. Are you talking about Spider-Man? The Spider-Man's meeting? I'm gonna take a bite of my cookie. It's so good. This is a really damn good cookie. Straight up. Reconnected. Yeah. Sorry if I dropped. I apologize. The internet's going in and out. It's okay. It's okay if you're not able to multitask. That's cool. These are recorded and put up. If I dropped, I'm sorry. Okay. All right. I don't mean to be. But anyways. Oh no. Oh, my drive fell. This is slowly turning into a disaster and I'm sorry. Either way, I'm excited, dude. Like the childhood aspect, it's just nostalgia. It's nostalgia buttons. There's also some other rumors that happened with the Spider-Man movie, but I'm not going to get into them. I dug a little deeper and found out some things that I believe that are going to happen, and I believe that they're going to be true. But I won't talk about them. Not yet. No, I will keep them. I will keep them to myself. If you're new here, you can actually join the Discord of the rendered image. The link is in the description, so you can go check that out. It's basically just like the community where you can chat with me one-on-one and not one-on-one, but you know what I'm saying, like talk to me and like share movie news and all sorts of other stuff. But yeah. What? What's what? Kiwan? That's Kiwan, right? Yes. I don't know what Kiwan. What Kiwan? What did you say? What to? He says what? I don't know. Yeah, Ronnie says Tobey Maguire will be in and out, kind of like my internet connection tonight. Unfortunately, that's okay. But yeah, and so then the other big piece of news is that Sony and Disney basically made a deal where starting with the 2022 releases, so from 2022 on, all of Sony's releases will go to Disney Plus. So you are now, previously before Spider-Man content, they own Hotel Transylvania. What else is a Sony property here? I don't know. Come on. I swear it said it in the article. Either way, like Hotel Transylvania and other Sony properties are going to go to Disney Plus. So that's exciting because originally, and Spider-Man is one of those properties. So if you own Disney Plus, you know that the Spider-Man films are not on Disney Plus. And that's kind of sad, I guess. Like I own copies of the Spider-Man films so I can watch them whenever I want. So that doesn't really bother me that much. But it'll be nice to have specifically the Tom Holland versions all under one umbrella because that's all part of the MCU. So starting in 2022, and their deal goes through 2026. So all of their theatrical releases will go on Disney Plus. Now, I don't know if that's like simultaneously, right? So it's going to go to theaters and Disney Plus on the same day, or if that was just kind of like a pandemic thing that every studio did, and then it's going to change now that things are kind of like getting back to normal, I guess, whatever you consider normal to be. I don't think there is such. Personally, for me, I don't believe there is such thing as normal. It's just me. I think we're all a little strange, and I think we're all a little quirky, and I think, yeah, I don't know. What is normal? You know what I'm saying? This cookie is not normal. But anyways, I'm rambling. Kiwan says, let's hear it, man. The chat is so... Is it delayed? I don't know. But anyways. So yeah, I'm excited. So we got all of this, and it's a huge thing. Obviously, Sony doesn't want to make their own streaming service, right? Because I just don't think they can compete. So obviously, it makes sense that they would team up with Disney Plus. I know they made a deal with Netflix. Let's read it. It says the agreement comes on the heels of Sony's output deal with Netflix for titles in the lucrative post-theatrical release pay one window. I don't know what that is. The Disney deal covers subsequent TV windows, meaning that the titles will land on Netflix first, about 9 months after the start of a film's theatrical run. Disney is scooping up for multiple platforms the windows previously reserved for ad-supported cable and broadcast airing of movies. Okay. All I got out of that was that they were gonna get them after Netflix about 9 months after the film's release in theaters. The rest of that kind of went over my head. I apologize. The rest of that kind of went over my head. But either way, so that was a big news that dropped. So the bigs, you might be thinking, you're like, okay, well, whatever. Like, what's the whole thing here? Well, with Sony being tied into, they've already been tied into Marvel because they've been making the Tom Holland movies, but and those are Sony movies. Like the MC, like Marvel Studios helped produce those movies, but those are Sony. Sony owns them, owns the Tom Holland films. But now that they've made this deal, it opens up the world for more Spider-Verse. I mean, before you were like, oh, is like this connected? Is this connected? And the fact that this deal happened before we get Venom, before Spider-Man 3 drops, before Spider-Verse, the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, the fact that this deal happened, again, a lot of this stuff has been penned and actually been inked. Like, they signed this deal like months ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, this stuff is in the works for years and years. So this is not by accident. This is by design. And what this means is that if Sony wants to make, say, so there's rumor, I think it's more than a rumor, but they want to make a Spider-Woman TV series, I think. I'm almost positive. And as part of their Spider-Verse. Like, Sony wants to have a Spider-Verse. That's why they make Venom. That's why they have all these people showing up in Tom Holland's movie, you know what I'm saying? And that's why they got all these other Spider-Man coming back. And I believe, and obviously the animated Spider-Verse, and I think that's why they made this deal with Disney, is Sony wants to make a Spider-Verse. Of course, why wouldn't they? It only makes sense. Again, like we talked about on the last show, it's the movie business, right? It's the entertainment business. It's business first. So of course, and so like Spider-Man is Sony's most lucrative property. So of course they're gonna, and it's so weird to me because most people are like, oh man, they're just milking Spider-Man, and it's like, see, but like I'm a Spider-Man fan, so you could literally give me a Spider-Man movie every year, and this is not a joke. You could give me a Spider-Man movie, maybe not every year, but like every 2 years for the rest of my life, and I will be there. I will show up. Now, why is that? Again, Sony doesn't get that because they didn't earn that level of loyalty from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sony didn't earn that. Stan Lee and Steve Ditko earned that loyalty from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a fan of the character, and I'm a fan of the characters that inhabit his world. And so that, and that's what these big studios know. They know that, like, oh, they have these diehard fans, but they also need to get the wider audience, right? So either way, that's what this means basically going forward. And it says the deal runs through 2026. So I can, and Netflix isn't in the development, right? It seems like Disney and Marvel Studios and Sony are producing projects together, and like Netflix is just kind of like a distribution platform that will get these things. No, definitely do not. My computer is like, it's time to restart, and I'm like, no, it's not time to restart. But yeah. Are we good? Hopefully we're. I mean, yeah. It says I'm good. It says I'm live. But anyway, so that's what that means. Are you guys? Do you guys want to see more Spider-Man content? We also got a teaser trailer for Venom: Let There Be Carnage. I guess we got it yesterday. It really wasn't a teaser trailer. It was like basically just like the title. They had like an animated title and had some scary music. And I guess they were like, and it's interesting. And I never know how to take these things because these studios just like drop this stuff. And I'm like, is that a teaser? Like, do you think that's a teaser? Because sometimes they'll do stuff like that, but then like the next day or the next morning, then they'll drop the official teaser or the official trailer. So I saw that little tease thing with the logo yesterday, and I was like, oh, are we gonna get a Venom trailer tomorrow, and I can talk about it on the show? No, that didn't happen. But I do feel that it'll come up. The trailer will drop soon. The trailer will drop soon. I think Venom comes out in June. Oh, I may be wrong. Yeah, June, I think. So that's close, right? Is it June or July? I don't know. That's close, though. But anyways, I think we can move on because that's all the Spider-Man news. And, you know, I'm excited for Spider-Man. You should be excited for Spider-Man 2. Not Spider-Man 2. Well, you should be excited for Spider-Man 2 because I think it's one of the better Spider-Man movies. If you haven't seen Spider-Man 2, go watch it because it's great. I'm good. Wanda says I'm good. I can't find my mouse. There we go. Next topic. Oh, the Batman. The Batman. Now, if you guys can't tell, I think that's actually like an action figure or a toy because the cape isn't like, it looks awesome, but it's definitely like an action figure of some kind, which I thought was cool. So I made it the image. But anyways, it was also supported. Oh my goodness. It was also reported on the other side of the pond or the river or whatever they have in Batman v Superman, because Gotham and Metropolis are like across the river from each other, I guess. So on the other side of the river, it was reported that Michael Keaton will officially be in The Flash. And also, The Flash started shooting last week. Or this week? Last week or this week? They officially began production. Movie's supposed to come out in 2022. And yeah, it had been rumored. That Michael Keaton was going to be in this movie. Ben Affleck is also confirmed to be in this movie. So we're going to get 2 Batman in the movie, which is fire. I cannot wait. It's just like, I want more Ben Affleck Batman and I want more Michael Keaton Batman. So like, this could not be like, this week was nuts. Like with news, I was like, whoa, I couldn't take it. I was like, whoa. And then it was like Michael Keaton. I always, I don't know. I've known about the Michael Keaton thing for a while. He was very, very heavily rumored. Oh, there's your first cough of the day. It was very heavily rumored. Sorry, I was trying to read what Kiwan was saying. In the chat. But yeah, Michael Keaton's Batman is on set. There was a behind the scenes photo, or Andy Muschietti, the director, maybe shared this photo, but it's a black and white photo of Michael Keaton's Batmobile on set. So like, it's happening for real. If you don't know anything about The Flash, the basic not synopsis, but the premise that we've gotten so far is that Barry Allen is going to go back in time and save his mother. Try to save his mother from dying because his mom dies in his origin or whatever. And so he's going to try to go back in time and save her. And while he does that, he's able to slip into alternate realities, I guess, or timelines or dimensions. Somebody clear that up for me. Exactly what he can do. I guess timelines, like I forget what they call it. I know he slips into this, like, he's got the Speed Force and he slips into that, but I forget, like, what it's called where he can go. But anyways, and he's going to run into Michael Keaton's Batman. And obviously it's going to be an older Batman. So it's been, okay, yeah, so it'll have been technically. So Michael Keaton, last time we saw Michael Keaton as Batman was in Batman Returns. And Batman Returns came out in 1992. This movie will come out in 2022. So it'll have officially been 30 years since we have seen Michael Keaton play Batman. So this is technically probably, Batman 30 years later. Okay, yeah. Emmett says that he saves his mom and then it ripples, creating an alternate reality, which is, yeah. I thought there was a word for it. Like, but if it's just alternate reality, then that's what it is. That's cool too. But Ronnie says, but also Flashpoint includes him visiting different Earths briefly. Earths, I think. Okay, yeah. Earths is what is the word I was looking for. That's the word I was looking for. But it's probably the same thing as realities as well. But yeah, so Andy Muschietti is directing this, and I think that's, I don't know, when Andy Muschietti, because this project has been, oh my goodness, I think they've wanted to make this project ever since like Man of Steel, around Man of Steel time. So it's almost been a decade that they've wanted to make this Flash movie, and they just couldn't find a director that was wanting to be attached. Like they just kept losing directors left and right. And so finally they got Andy Muschietti. Andy Muschietti is the director of the new It movies. So It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2. I think he's a great director. And I'm excited to see what he does with a superhero, like a superhero movie. I think it's really cool. I think if you've looked at the new Suicide Squad movie that's made by James Gunn, it seems like they really let him kind of make the movie that he wanted to make. It seems like they've kind of, Warner Brothers hopefully has kind of stepped off and brought their foot off of these filmmakers and are kind of letting them make the movies that they want to make and bring their own artistic viewpoint. So I'm really hoping that they're letting Andy come in and make the movie that he wants to make. So Kewan says Michael Keaton drop kicks. You think he's gonna? Well, okay. So this is a question. All right. So this is a question for the chat. Do you think it's almost probably guaranteed? But do you think that we're gonna see Michael Keaton in the full bat suit? Not like just like no cowl. Like I'm talking like the whole thing. Do you think we're gonna see him like as the full Batman? I think we're going to. And then he's going to like step out of the shadows and he's going to drive up in his Batmobile. It's probably going to be like Ezra Miller's Flash is going to like Speed Force or whatever into the Batcave, which is strange. That might not be strange to me. And I don't know how it works. Can he teleport just anywhere, or does he have to know where he's going? Can someone answer that for me? Does he need to know where he's going to end up? Or do you think, like, can he just randomly appear in the Batcave of Michael Keaton? Oh, you think you're going to change his character entirely? You think he's going to change? You think he's going to play Thomas Wayne? So Ronnie thinks, okay, so to explain what Ronnie is hinting at, Ronnie thinks that Michael Keaton's Batman will not be Bruce Wayne, but will be an alternate timeline version where his father, Thomas Wayne, became Batman. And I won't spoil what else happens to the Wayne family in that timeline, just to keep it a secret, I guess. But that's interesting. I wonder, if he won't even play. See, but I don't know. That seems to be, I mean, that'd be like a fan servicey moment, but like, would it confuse the general public? You know what I'm saying? Would it confuse people if they were like, wait a minute, I thought that was Bruce Wayne. Yeah, yeah. Rick was supposed to direct. I had watched Dope. I wasn't a fan of Dope, dude. I really wasn't a fan of Dope. Ronnie says probably, but they don't care. Well, yeah, maybe they don't. I don't know. It's really hard. I think DC is like they're in like a growing period, maybe a growing period. I don't know. We're gonna have to see what happens in the next like 2 years for DC, because if they play it right, I mean they are. I mean they're bringing him back. That's a power move. That's a power move. But you also see, it's funny because you also see on the opposite end of that, you see Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios bringing back all the Spider-Man. And if you think that that's an accident, that those two things are happening around the same time, you'd be wrong. That's not by accident. These studios talk to each other, believe it or not. I wish Jeffrey. Emmett says, "I wish Jeff. Oh my goodness, Jeffrey Dean Morgan was all Thomas Wayne. I didn't like Dope. Yeah, no. Oh, I thought you said you didn't like Dope. No, I didn't like Dope. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I don't know why. I just didn't like it. It was fine, but I wasn't a fan. But yes, I wish that Jeffrey would come in and do at least a cameo or something. That'd be really cool. The worst writer is writing The Flash. I don't know if is the worst writer writing The Flash. I don't know. But anyways, this was kind of the news for this one. I'm super excited to see Michael Keaton back in the bat suit. I don't know. I think it. I mean, it's rumored that he's going to be like a mentor to the Flash, so that could happen too. And he's going to like guide him through the different Earths and the different realities. He's going to be like his guide or whatever. That could be cool, I guess. I don't know. Oh. Oh yeah, no, Birds of Prey was ridiculous. Birds of Prey was horrible. I thought Bumblebee was fine. Bumblebee was all right, but Birds of Prey was. I couldn't even finish Birds of Prey, to be honest with you. I was like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I didn't like any of the characters in Birds of Prey. I was like, I don't enjoy any of these people. And then when they would go in to do fight choreography, like if you watch the movie and you didn't really pay attention to the fight choreography that was happening in that movie, I mean, don't go back and rewatch it, but if you want to, go back and rewatch the fight choreography in that movie. Oh, it's bad. You can tell that these actresses don't know how to fight. And so like these stunt people, they're just like literally just like jumping over things and like jumping away. And it's like, it's just very strange. It's not a good movie. Oh yeah. 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 Ewan McGregor definitely like, he was having fun with it, right? And I think that's what happened. I think he got to set and he realized like, oh, this is what this movie is. Okay. And then he just cranked it up to like a 15. He was like, all right, I'm just going to go all out. And I'm glad he did, because he was definitely the best part of that movie. But anyways, I think they're gonna, oh, so sorry. I wanted to mention this. So do you think, since Spider-Man, right? So back to Spider-Man really quick. So if Doc Ock gets pulled from Spider-Man 2, right? They pull him from Spider-Man 2 into the Tom Holland, whatever's going on. And then what if they pull Toby? I mean, Toby's there too. Toby is literally in this, I mean, he flies away with MJ, but whatever. So if If Toby gets sucked in, that means they're gonna have to de-age Toby, because Toby will be 2004 Toby, not 2021 or 22 Toby. So that means they're gonna have to de-age him. Not only that, can they somehow retroactively like retcon Spider-Man 3? So by pulling them out of Spider-Man 2, are they like wiping the slate clean and saying, that Spider-Man 3 movie never happened? I wonder. I wonder if they're going to do that. We have 8 likes, we have 12 likes and we have 8 watching now. That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You know, we do these shows every Thursday. Every Thursday at 8:30, we're going to, after dark rendered image, So come on by. That would be killer. Yeah, I wonder, man. I wonder if that's their plan. I wonder if they're planning on doing that. Now, that's purely like speculation. Like, that's not something that like is rumored for the movie, or like that I've heard is in the, that's just something I heard that from somebody, and then I was like, oh man, that's so crazy. So yeah, no, I mean, it seems like the best opportunity. And then also too, I mean, if you have Sam Raimi's already making Doctor Strange 2, so if you have him come back to Sony and make another Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, I don't know. And also too, I mean, okay, so, and like, switching back over to DC, what would Batman's Michael Keaton, or maybe he's gonna die in this movie. Do you think Michael Keaton's Batman is gonna die in this film, or do you think he's gonna play a bigger role in the DC universe moving forward? I wonder. Is there a Superman in his universe? I don't know. I don't think there is. I know there's a Superman in the Val Kilmer. So the Val Kilmer movie, there's a Superman in that in that movie, but like I think, and I remember like back in, they said that it was like a sequel to Michael Keaton stuff, and it was kind of loosely connected, but not really. The only realistically, the only tie from Michael Keaton's universe was Commissioner Gordon. So like, I don't consider the Michael Keaton ones to be tied to the Joel Schumacher movies at all, but that's just me. What do we got going on in the chat? X-Men Days of Future Past. Yeah, no, for real. X-Men Days of Future Past. Kiwan says retconning superhero movies is unnecessary. I kind of agree, right? Because you could just like make new movies. Do you really need to? Like, I can totally understand where you're coming from. Where it's just like, yeah, it seems like it's like a waste of screen time, possibly. Like, do something else with that screen time rather than being like, no more Spider-Man 3. It's like, well, technically that movie still exists. And some people really like that movie. You know what I'm saying? Some people really like it's their favorite Spider-Man movie, believe it or not. And I think if you go back and watch the original Spider-Man trilogy and you watch that third one, it actually works. Like, it's not a terrible movie. It massively did not meet my expectations when I was a young teenager, and that did not hit my expectations. I had big expectations for Spider-Man 3, did not hit it. Oh, they match Keaton. Yeah, that makes sense, right? That makes sense. That it would be Reeves' Superman. That does make sense. Okay. But it's never been confirmed anywhere that they were technically in the same universe. Man. And can you imagine that too? I've thought about that a couple of times, but like DC was ahead of the game. Like if DC had run with this and had been smarter, like they had Superman and they had a Batman, like, and if they would have built their universe like 30 years ago, dude, come on, man. Like they were ahead of the game and they just didn't. It's funny too, because it's like, really, you didn't realize like what you had? Like Batman was such a massive success. I think Superman was like was a really good success. Not quite, I don't think quite, not the cultural success and the pop cultural success that Batman was, but they were still both really big movies for their time. So I just find it funny how it's like, but that was a whole different time. There's a whole different era, and Hollywood necessarily didn't treat superhero movies like legit movies. You know what I'm saying? They thought they were just kind of like campy and like still for kids and stuff like that. So it was a different time. True, they didn't sell. Yeah, no, you're right. They didn't sell their characters, which, well, was a big deal. But, and also too, man, like you got to. I would assume that, like, yeah, in the 70s and in the 80s, DC Comics was doing a lot better than Marvel was, for sure. My phone is about to die. That is sadness. All right, well, we're running up on 9:17 right here, so I'm gonna go to the last topic. This is kind of a more, general. Come on, mouse. Here we go, mouse. Come here, mouse. All right. or trackpad. It's my trackpad. It's not really a mouse, but all right. So I wanted to end the show basically here for the last 10 or so minutes. Yeah, dude, it's some sort of action figure or something. I don't know, but anyways, I wanted to end the show talking about filmmaking and just kind of like what it means to us and why we love filmmaking in general. If you're not a filmmaker, I know there are some filmmakers in the chat. Mainly filmmakers, I think. Everyone else has dropped out of the chat. So, but that's cool. And this is this is 7 right here. This is David Fincher's 7. It's behind the scenes stuff, whatever. It's a cool image, and I figured I'd throw it in. But I wanted to talk about like why are movies important? And why do we love making movies? I know for me personally, it has a like. I guess the way that my brain works, right? Like I love tech, and not necessarily in the, because a lot of people can get caught up in the cameras and in the gear that you use, right? And that's not necessarily what I mean when I say that like I'm in love with the tech. I mean like, I guess post production for the most part, but also cameras too. Like I love to create images, and I love to, I love to mess around with light, and I love to, I guess experiment is the word I'm looking for. And kind of always try new things, right? So I watch a movie, and it's like, I'm looking at how the light falls on the face, right? And if it's a soft light and where it's coming from, and the motivations and the different stops of light from the background to the foreground, right? And the contrast ratios on the face. Contrast ratios is basically just like, I can't really emulate it, I don't think, but like the difference in brightness from on one side of the face to the other side of the face. This is all like super tech geeky like terms, so I'll try trying to educate while talking about filmmaking, I guess. Yeah, I don't really, this topic is just much more free form. But I'm in the process of whoa, my keyboard almost fell off my lap. So I'm in the process of currently making my thesis film, writing my thesis film, and that has been a journey to say the least. I am not a writer. Okay. Can I write? No, not. I mean, I guess maybe, but like, it's such a muscle that like I haven't like practiced in so long, and it's just very. Hey, we got a casting update. We're casting for another thing. That's another YouTube. It's a web series. It's supposed to be like it's a YouTube series. And we just got a response. We've casted like 5 roles in like the last day. So I'm excited. We've been planning that thing for a long time though. So I'm gonna keep that on the hush hush for now until it's time. But that'll be super fun. Anyways, so I've been going through the writing process, and I recently have kind of dived into visual effects. And so I really kind of want this this film to be a vehicle to kind of show off what I can do. And I think it's important for me, right, to look where I'm at currently as a filmmaker, both in what work I've done previously, what work I want to do in the future, and kind of where I want my career to go necessarily. And I want to be an editor. I want to be a narrative television film, you know what I'm saying? I want to be a narrative I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of, but like narrative content, basically, right? So like short films, feature films, television. I want to cut that. I want to cut that type of stuff. That's what I want to do for my career. So yeah. And so anyways, I have been developing my VFX skills, and it's been super interesting to me, and it's kind of like a hobby, right? You know, same thing with the YouTube thing. Like the YouTube thing is a hobby for me. And it allows me to connect with people and kind of share my creative process, and just kind of document my life as a creative. I think everybody should do this. I think not necessarily this, like you don't have to go live. If you don't want to go live, that's fine. But I think the current state that we live in, you should be putting your stuff on YouTube, even if it's not for the public. Like I understand some people don't want to, some people aren't as, as open and don't want to be. And that could be a good thing. But I feel just this fits me. I like this platform. I like kind of what we're, what we're building here. And I think it'll be cool to see where all of this goes. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so my feature, or my feature, I don't have a feature. My short film that I'm making for my thesis project, it involves, so basically the comp is Die Hard meets Aliens, right? Is kind of the basics of what it is. It's Die Hard and it's Aliens kind of mashed together. And it's about this guy who basically gets trapped in this facility with this alien, and he has to figure out how to get out. That's kind of just the basic bones of what the movie is about. And I'm going around with ideas of trying to ratchet up the tension, but I also don't want to be as long-winded. I don't want it to be long-winded, you know what I'm saying? And I want to move fast. I'm a fast-paced dude. I think that specifically for me, and I guess this comes from being an editor, but I always look at my stuff, and if I read it, and I'm like, I always want to try to get out of my scenes super quick. And when I write my first drafts specifically, I'm always just in that mindset. And maybe that's just me. Like when I watch stuff, I'm always like, man, this is super long. Like in class, we were watching reels, right? We were taking a look at all these different reels, and a lot of them were so long that I was like, this is way too long. Like I could cut a minute out of this. Some things are like a whole 2 minutes long. And even, I've fallen victim to that too. I've cut reels that are like 2 minutes long, 3 minutes long in the past. And it's like, ugh, and now I look at that now and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't fly. And so same thing when you're making a short film. And I think when you're new, right, and you don't have the resume or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to entertain people, but also too, like, I understand where I'm at storytelling wise. Like, I'm not trying to write the next Godfather. I'm not trying to write the next Star Wars. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just right. And for those people that like want to do that, I think it's important that we have those filmmakers that try to push it in different areas. But I just know, like, myself, I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? And also too, like, I want to support people's visions. Like, for the most part, like, I don't, like, yeah, I'm producing my own content. I'm making the show, blah, 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 blah. But like, I would much rather help other filmmakers realize their visions rather than being the guy that, like, is the person that's like, I have this story that's going to be, that's going to revolutionize, the world and do all this stuff. Like, I don't have that ability in me right now. And I don't necessarily know if I'm going to ever have that ability in me. But what I do have the ability to do is to help people get their visions from the paper to the screen. And like, when I step back and I look at my entire body of work and my life, and like, because I've been making things for a long time, and I see myself and I'm like, yeah, I've always been driven to the technical aspect, like, how are things done and how can you get things done and problem solving. And like, that's why with the thesis, like, yeah, am I pushing myself? Definitely. Like, we have an alien, so we got to like do makeup, and like there's a crate or like a cage type thing. And I'm talking to a 3D artist who's modeling the cage, and we have to put that in the scene and we have to light it. And all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to match the lighting and all this other stuff, which I feel confident that I can do because I've been practicing it. And now it's time to implement what I've learned over the last, I don't know, I've been dabbling in VFX for probably the last year and a half. I'm by no means good necessarily, but like, I can pull some basic stuff off. And like I said, with my thesis, my goal is just to kind of make a ride, right? Like, I just want to like entertain people. Are there going to be plot holes? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm trying not to worry about that too much. The crew is small. The people in my class, like, we're all very close, and we're all very like honest with each other, and we're able to give like constructive criticism and feedback that I value completely. And they have helped me tremendously to try to like figure out exactly what I wanted, because and that's kind of how my brain works, where it's like, I have an idea and then I'll develop something, and then it'll change, like it zigzags. Like, my idea will go this way, and then my idea goes this way, and then it comes back down to what it used to be, and then it goes a different way. And then eventually it's kind of like, and especially with the thesis thing, it's like, we do have a timeline, right? Which is good. Like, you need to set deadlines for yourself, because if you don't have deadlines for yourself, then you're just going to be like, well, I'll make it, I'll finish it eventually, or it'll be this. For me, it's like, no, like, I've been honing it, and I've been trying to get to a story that I'm happy with while retaining the VFX that I want and the certain moments that I want. Yeah. So, but like, it's been molded over the past few months, and it's pretty incredible to like see where it's gone to like where it was to see where it ends up. It's pretty wild. But, and I've brought on, a DP who I'm going to challenge for sure. My DP has never done anything like this necessarily. He's very talented. And I feel like my knowledge of cinematography is good enough that like together we can do some pretty cool stuff. But I always want to, when I get the script done, I want to make sure that every shot in the film is intentional. And the way, and I've never really directed anything like this before. This is really the first time that I've like creatively controlled a project from the beginning. So it'll be very interesting. And I'm finding that my creative process is basically like, I'm going to storyboard the whole movie, And like, there's the way that I work, I don't really, depending on the project, I guess, but like, I don't see there being any room for improvisation. Not necessarily that we can't improvise, but I'm somebody who is very much like the story's on the page, at least for this specific project. Like the camera's going to be moving a lot. I have I have some scenes that happen before the alien monster breaks out, and then I have scenes before, and then I have scenes after the alien monster thing breaks out. And I've made a conscious decision that before the alien breaks out, the camera movements are gonna not necessarily be on a tripod, because unless it's needed. I'm not really a fan of putting things on tripods unless people are like sitting at somewhere, right? Or sitting at a booth or sitting in a car or so. I don't know. But either way, so minimal movement before the monster breaks out. And then once the monster breaks out, then, that camera, like I was talking to my DP and I was like, that camera is going to be moving constantly. Like once that monster comes out, like we're never not moving the camera. You know what I'm saying? There is one moment where my main protagonist is like stuck in an elevator. So if you're stuck in an elevator, then there's not a lot of room, especially when you're shooting in an elevator. Hopefully we can get a big elevator. Fingers crossed that we can get like a semi-decently big elevator. But either way. Yeah, so the chat's going crazy. Not crazy, but you know what I'm saying. I want to get back to all these comments. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna read comments for right now. That would be killer. Seems like a waste of an alright movie. Linda, I went too far. Nice. Sounds like an adventure. Perhaps a freight elevator. Yeah, no, there's sure. So my school's got the campus, which will probably, honestly, for real, this is what's going to happen, or at least this is what I want to happen. I want to split the shoot up in between multiple locations. Shooting it all in one location, I guess, would be fine. But if I can split it up into multiple locations, that would be what I would initially want to do. So we'll have to see. I know that my school's got some really cool areas. I have to contact some other places that I have on my list. But what's nice is I did cast my lead, so that's awesome. Shout out to Joe Metcalf. Thank you for coming on board and being a part of this. Once I get the script done, which is going to be by tomorrow, a version of the script, then it's like, and I've kept the main character kind of loose in terms of personality, because I really want to work with him to develop the personality of the main character and see what he wants to bring. So I've very intentionally not given the main character too much of a personality, because I want to see what he brings to the table. So, but yeah, it's going to be a fun time. There will be behind the scenes and all that stuff, and I will talk about it more when things start to move forward, and you'll get to meet all the people, and you'll get to see the rough cuts and all that fun jazz. It'll be a great time. But I just want to create kind of a fun ride. And I'm not really, I'm not trying to make the deepest film in the world. When I literally say Die Hard meets Aliens, that's pretty much what it is. It'll be a fun time. There'll be some fun VFX, but like, I want it to be punchy. I want it to be fast paced. And that'll all come in the edit. You know what I'm saying? The edit's going to be really fun, because you'll get to play with sound design, and which I love. I love sound design. Sound design is so fun, because like I said, going back to the technical aspect, like you can get super technical with sound design, like where certain sounds come in, and like where the lull is and like where the sounds come out and the music gets all, like what's more sound effecty and like what's not sound, like when can the music come up and when can it not come up? Like I really want to play with this stuff. And really have fun. And that's kind of the whole, like, that's my whole goal going into this project, right? And bringing people on board. I want people to be excited to make this type of film, and I want to be open. I think it's super important to be open with the people that you're working with and letting them know like what your vision is for the movie. That's why you grab reference. I can't pull it up now because it's on my laptop. It's not on my desktop. But I've grabbed like a bunch of reference in there. Some references referencing to the framing that I want, right? Some reference is to the lighting. Some reference is to certain camera angles, So yeah, basically, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling. This turned into like thesis, but this is also hopefully letting you know why I love filmmaking. And my voice is starting to go, so. My throat is starting to get sore. Well, it's 9:30. We've officially gone for an hour. And I think that will be the end, guys. I think we're going to wrap it up. Got to turn on my keyboard. We got to go back to the main page. We're going to go back to the main page. I think my foot fell asleep as well. So that's fun. But with that being said, that's going to do it. Oh my goodness. I apologize for that. That was not expected. I'm so sorry. But either way, with that being said, I think that's going to conclude tonight's show. Thank you so much. We do this every Thursday at 8:30. It is Rendered Image After Dark. It's what we do here. If you enjoy this content, you can subscribe. You can drop a like. That helps a ton. And if you don't comment in the chat, I encourage you to talk in the chat because it sparks up conversation. It gets me thinking about different things. Some people drop their knowledge and makes me like, I'm like, oh, that's, so if you got knowledge or you have a love for filmmaking and you want to express that here in this chat and on this show or any other show that we have on this channel, you are more than welcome. I thank you so much for being here and for taking the time. And if you are someone who is thinking about getting into filmmaking on any level, if you're brand new, if you're experienced and you love what you're doing, then keep at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot for the stars. Like but it's a journey. And if you're starting out specifically, I kind of want to leave you with this message of, people are like, oh, never give up. Never, everyone says that. And I mean, that can be true. And you can, and I think the super, super important thing that you need to remember is that you're going to fail. Right. And I don't think people in film don't talk about this enough. People in film school don't really talk about this enough. And there's a lot of pressure to like, just people in general just put a lot of pressure on themselves, but it's okay to fail. And I've learned that through many, 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 many lessons of failure in many aspects, filmmaking, in life, in a bunch of things. And it's a journey, but it also makes us better storytellers, right? Specifically in filmmaking, you mess up a few times. Like I remember there have been times where I was like the first time I was a director on a music video that had like a crew of, God, there's probably like 30 people on this crew. And I was really young and I didn't really understand what I was doing. And my DP was coming to me and he was like asking me all these questions and I didn't know how to answer his questions. I'm gonna be straight up honest. I didn't understand what he was talking about. And that was a long time ago. But then I took it upon myself to learn about cinematography, because I didn't want to be in that situation again. I didn't want to be in this situation. And I realized what it meant, not necessarily, what it meant to be a director, but what it meant to be a director and what it meant to be a leader of a project. You need to have answers. You're the person that they're looking to for the vision. They have questions. You need to have answers. And they may not always be the right answers. Don't turn off, computer. I'm still talking. But, you know, so basically, I mean, I could ramble on forever. We can finish this up right now. I don't want to waste any more of your time. Thank you guys so much for showing up. But again, don't be afraid to fail, and explore new things, and allow yourself to grow into the person and to grow into the filmmaker that you want to become. There are so many resources out there. You know, this show could be a resource for you. There's a bunch of, YouTube tutorials, and we're going to make our own stuff on the channel. We're going to make our own tutorials. We're going to interview filmmakers. A lot of my colleagues are making films right now. I want to bring them on, and I want to talk about their films, and I want them to talk about what they've learned about making their movies. Because I don't think I don't think that is presented enough. Like young filmmakers talking about what they had to overcome. Like it's talked about in classrooms, and it's talked about in different circles, but I really want this to be a platform where you just get a plethora of advice, and you're also able to learn how to watch the media and watch the stuff, like learn how to watch the stuff that you're watching and know exactly how things are made, why things are made, and just kind of be I don't know what the word is, I guess, a more well-versed content watcher or creator. I don't know. And like, I'm learning this stuff too. So, you'll just follow my journey and we'll learn it together. But either way, thank you so much. I'm gonna get out of here. I've been talking like a madman. But yeah, so thank you so much. Again, you can drop a like, you can hit the subscribe button to come back for next week's episode, and then ring that bell so you don't miss anything. And yeah, keep creating, and I will see you on the next episode of the Rendered Image After Dark. All right. Bye-bye, guys.